You are now listening to the voice of horror.
Lock your doors, bolt your windows, and turn off the lights. Make sure the kids are safe at home, because you're heading to the Nightwatch zone.
Welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are, another episode, Tuesday night, heading into Battle World. And tonight's the night when revenge will be served cold. And it's going to be awesome. Kills with me, Coriander, and Eric, as always. Real quick, just to give a blanket hello to all you guys in the chat. Thanks for hanging out with us. We see you guys. Danielle, Denisha, Jose, what's up? Good to see you, Jose. Ronan, Ronan's in the chat. He's starting already. I love it. I love it. Val, what's going on, Val? Good to see you. I knew Val would be here to enjoy this one. Let's see who else we got going on. Brandon's in the chat. What's going on, man? Good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you. Good to have you here, man. Let's see who else we have. Jason. Good to see you, Jason. Saying so excited about about this battle tonight. Yeah, boy. Yeah. What's up, Ben? Ben's in here. Steve. What's up, Steve? Good to see you. And Melissa. Sarah's in the chat. Good to see you, Sarah. All right. And Joseph. What's going on, Joseph? Okay. Very, very cool. All right. So tonight we've got a really special battle. This one is going to be absolutely crazy. Eric, let us know who our first contestant is for Battle World tonight.
Well, as everyone knows with Hollywood, and especially with like the horror genre, everything gets remade. And when the creator of the original tells the person remaking it to make it their own, and that person is Rob Zombie, all bets are off. You know, it's going to be gritty, grimy, and very, very filthy. So our version of this version of the competitor is not the shape. He is a man. He's pushing 7 feet tall, pushing 300 pounds, and he's probably the perfect example of nature versus nurture, if you want to go with that discussion. He is brutal with a knife, a baseball bat, or anything he can get his hands on. We have the 2007 version of Michael Myers.
All right. Okay. All right, Coriander, who do we have in the other corner coming in?
Well, Mike, in this corner, we have the Shape of Haddonfield, who's waited freaking 40 years to unleash a cannibal bass on anyone stupid enough to mess with him. Here's Michael of 2018.
All right. All right. Well, Kill, this is going to be really interesting. This is our first time that we've had a battle with a horror icon versus a horror icon. It's going to be absolutely crazy, man.
Dude, I've been waiting for this one. Finally, justice for the shape. And, you know, what's so interesting about these two competitors, these two movies, you have the same antagonist, but we have the older, more experienced one. And we got that younger, giant, aggressive, one. So this is going to be a good one. And regardless, Michael wins in the end.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. There you go. Justice will be served. Justice for the shape.
Yes.
Hashtag justice for the shape for you guys in the live chat.
Evil does not die tonight.
Evil shall not die tonight. All right. Well, we got the competitors coming in, ready to get situated in Battle World. So for you guys in the chat, for you guys watching the replay, sit back, relax, and here we go.
I wish I had you all alone, just the two of us.
All right, man. We're ready to rock and roll. Kill. This is going to be interesting. You can see Tyler is like, he's chomping at the bit. Okay.
Yes.
He's ready to rock and roll. And you got James in the corner doing his stretches. You know, you got to get the kinks out, bro.
Gotta
You gotta
stay
get the
loose.
kinks
Gotta
out.
stay limber.
Gotta stay loose. That's right, man. It's going to be interesting. Kill, as usual. Let's bring up the tail of the tape. You know how we do this thing, man. Here we go. For the one side, on the 2018 side, we've got James Jude coming in at a ripe age of 61, height at 6'3", weight of 210 pounds. Signature weapon, of course, is the knife. He's been in 3 films. And of course, we're talking about the great James Jude. Courtney, who do we got on the other side, man?
Well, enough about that old man. We got age 27. He stands at a giant 6'8", weighing 215 pounds. Weapon of choice, signature weapon is a knife. He's been in 2 films, and it's played by the giant, the friendly giant, Tyler Mane.
There you go. There you go. And of course, this will not be a wrestling match for Tyler, of course.
No.
A wrestler.
But he fights like a younger man.
Wow.
Admirable, but mistaken. I love it. All right. So you guys know how we're going to do this thing. We're going to rank this by category. For you guys that were here last week, it was absolutely crazy. We're going to be giving a point to the movie that we think deserves it. And for anyone in the live chat, if you do a super chat, that dollar amount will count as a point. So you guys can literally change the balance of this contest. And last week, a good friend, Sir James, went buck wild. So did Ben.
Yeah, he did.
And it was absolutely craziness.
It was
All
incredible.
Right,
He proved the referee can be bought in this fight.
he did, man. He really did.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. It was absolutely hilarious.
It was a lot of fun.
I couldn't believe it. It was. All right, guys. So we're going to get ready to get down to brass tacks and start this thing off. Eric, we're going to start with our first category that we always start off with, and we're going to be talking about the poster. Okay, we're going to be talking about the poster. So let me bring those up for you. We've got the poster for 2018, and then we've got the poster for 2007 Halloween. What do you think, man?
Like them both. Going with Rob Zombies, and here's why. I've made it a fact that I do like sometimes less is more. This one, the 2018, is very ominous. You know, to me, it's like a ghost coming out of the wall type of thing. Looks really cool. But there's just so much I love in the Rob Zombie poster. It's not just Michael's silhouette without the mask. You know what I mean? Looking cool. It's the silhouette of the mask, and you have to, if you look closely, there's little bits and pieces of the movie in that mask. And I just love the shade of orange and everything. So definitely got to go Rob Zombie.
All right. Kill, how about you, man?
Okay, so this is probably the first easy street here. And it's because I have a personal bias because I own one of these posters. I love them both. I love them both, and I love the simplicity of 2018. But I got to go with the Rob Zombie one. You know, it looks so menacing. For one, you see Tyler there. You don't see his face. You see the hair. You see the physique. You see the knife. You see the mask. Then in the background, you have just the face of evil that's just staring at him. Like, you know, along with the tagline, the destiny, it's like he's looking at, like, you know, just incarnate of evil with all, you know, so many scenes from the movie there, so many of the actors in the mask, which also looks like it could be flames. I love the coloring of it. So yeah, this one, I got to go with the Rob Zombie.
Okay, all right. And real quick before I get to you, Coriander, there's a couple of people just jumped into the chat. Hey to you guys, Joseph's in the chat. Life's in the chat. What's going on? Good to see you as well. And everyone else is jumping in. Don't forget to hit the like button. It really helps to support us. Katie's in the chat. What's up, Katie? Good to see you. And Travis and Samuel. Wow. All right. There you go. Unstable. You guys are all right. Don't forget to the like. It helps to support the channel. And Katie, if you're able to keep an eye, a tab on the likes. That'd be great. So, Coriander, how about you? Which poster are you going with? The 2018 Halloween or the 2007 Rob Zombie's Halloween?
I mean, I do like them both, but I am gonna go 2018. I like, the mask is like awesome. I like how like, Eric said, it's like a ghost. He's like, it's almost like, he's doing what he does. He hides in the black and then he comes out, and I love it.
Oh.
So,
That's
yeah,
a good,
man.
That's a good point. I didn't. That was a good way to describe it. All right, very very cool. Friday's in the chat saying he's going with Rob Zombie. Horror is in the chat. Good to see you. Ronan is going with 2018. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. D's in the chat too. What's up, D? Travis is in the chat going with Rob Zombies. All right. For me, this is actually kind of challenging because I think both posters are really good in what they're doing. When we talk about posters for any of these matchups, it's usually an interesting conversation because sometimes you posters go one way or the other, and obviously this is a great example of that because with the 2007 there's a lot going on that's very cool as far as images and the detail, and of course with 2018 it's very very plain Jane, which I really do like that. All three of these posters for the trilogy was just the mask, and I think that was kind of cool. They did that instead of the kind of the way that they started doing horror posters like in the 90s where it was always just a bunch of faces, which is cool, but I really am glad that they kind of went simple. But I got to give the point to Rob Zombie's Halloween because I just think that for me there's just a lot of cool stuff going on in here. I think especially you guys nailed it on the head, with the silhouette, and you see the two versions of Michael, which is of course what that movie is about. So I thought that was kind of cool. You see him without the mask, and of course you do see the mask. So I have to give this one to Rob Zombie's Halloween by just a little bit. I really love the 2018, but we're gonna go with 2007. All right, cool. Joseph is a fan of Halloween 4. All right. MMA said 2018 because it feels like Halloween. The Hatchet Boys in the chat. Awesome. Good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. Good to have you here. This is going to be a lot of fun. Jamie's in the chat as well.
Jamie?
Yeah. And I will definitely not be able to keep with everyone in the chat, but definitely know that we see you guys and we're happy to have you here. Definitely let us know which person or which movie, I should say, you're voting for, and we'll try to get to as many as we can. All right. So, Eric, next up, we have these posters, but next we've got to talk about the tagline for the posters. So, for 2007 Halloween, the tagline is "Evil has a destiny." And for Halloween 2018, the tagline is "Face your fate."
Wow, they're pretty much the same to me. I actually didn't know Halloween.
Similar.
I didn't know Halloween 2018 had a tagline.
Yeah.
Evil has a destiny and face your fate. I'm going with, and again, how I look at it, what's going to drive me into the theater. I'm going with Rob Zombies because it's new for me concerning the franchise. Evil has a destiny. What does that mean? Where is Michael going to go with that? Face your fate. That's what Laurie's pretty much been doing, regardless of this ignoring anything that previous. She's done that into H2O, what have you. So they're very similar, but because of the unknown with the tagline, I'm going with Rob Zombies.
Okay, all right. And real quick, before we go any further, we have the first super chat of the night. Jason Dyer coming in strong, $2 super chat. Thank you so much, man. Saying, just wanted to say how much I appreciate you all. Hey, well, thank you so much, man.
Yeah.
All right, very, very cool.
Same here.
And Jason, by the way, if you wanted to use those points for one of these movies, you have to let us know. So if you want to, you can let us know, and we can put those 2 points to either Rob Zombie or 2018. So definitely let us know. But thank you so much for the super chat. We really, really appreciate it. It helps us to do these particular streams in general because there's a lot of prep that goes into them. So thank you, man. All right. Kill. How about you, man? What are you thinking for the tagline? Again, 2007 is Evil Has a Destiny. 2018 is Face Your Fate.
You know, just like Eric said, I didn't know the tagline for 2018. This is hard for me because essentially you have a remake of the first movie, and then you have another movie that is essentially the second movie, retconned. I'm gonna have to go with Face Your Fate because just from the stance of essentially if this is Halloween 2 proper. And it's been 30 40 years, Laurie is finally gonna face her fate with Michael, and the whole town of Haddonfield essentially is facing their fate. But I love both taglines, but yeah, that one is going to edge it out. 2018.
All right, we're going with 2018. There you go. Okay, Coriander, how about you? Which tagline would you go with?
Yeah, I definitely was going to point that out if you didn't, Killian, about how this is like the second movie. So she hasn't had, anything to do with him other than her first experience. So, yeah, man, I need to go with 2018. So, yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Melissa saying plain and simple. D going with 2018. All right. All right. Let's see. What else? Gonna catch up with you guys here. Joseph is a fan of both of the posters. Very, very cool. All right. Chris in the chat. What's going on, Chris? Saying I always liked Evil Has a Destiny, so that got my vote. All right. Very, very cool. Okay, so for me, I think both of Eric, you said it perfectly in the beginning. They're both very, very similar. And I like them both. I really, really do. I think for me, the thing that I like about Face Your Fate is that it is that idea of, okay, so what's going to happen? There's going to be that confrontation between the two. And with 2007, it's kind of like Evil Has a Destiny. Well, I'm curious. I'm interested in that. So I got to give this one to Rob Zombie. I got to give this one to Rob Zombie's Halloween because of the curiosity factor, meaning that, what does that mean? I'm sorry, Evil Has a Destiny. And yeah, that's a tough one. This one was really, really close because they are very similar. So I'm going to go with 2007. All right. Jason coming in, saying 2018 for the points, but I don't hate Rob Zombie. Okay. Gosh. All right, man. Good deal.
Nice.
We got 2 points. Okay. Nice. Frank's in the chat. What's going on, Frank? Saying evening. Thanks for the debate. Hands down, it's David Gordon Green's Michael Myers. Can't stand the Rob Zombie version of Halloween. All right. All right. Okay, guys. So we're going to move on to our next category, Eric. So let's bring those up. And as usual, we've got to talk about the opening. The opening to these 2 films. And again, the opening is usually, anywhere up to about 15 minutes. Sometimes it's a lot shorter than that. Sometimes it's just a little bit longer. But what do you think, man?
Oh, geez. Very, very different in many ways. I wasn't pulled in by, I'm not gonna lie, pulled in by either openings.
Okay.
But not in my, I think the Rob Zombie version for me, it's too much. It's too much like sensory overload with the yelling, the screaming, the noises, stuff getting thrown on the floor. It's like the dinner scene in the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You know what I mean? It's so much at once. I'm going with 2018 just because, I can't handle, and I'm a huge fan of Rob's version, but that's too much for me in the opening of his. What I really like in 2018, I've talked about how I don't like it that they're podcasters, this and that, how, where do they get the money? But what I really enjoy is, and kind of like what your video you did today, is how Michael's just so calm when everyone else is kind of going overboard, the different inmates, you know what I mean, how they're reacting. He's just standing there. He doesn't care. He's not paying attention. So that is pretty cool to me. So I'm going 2018.
Hey, can I say something though? Just as a quick aside, you saw that video?
Mhm.
You're all right, man. Because I know we've had the conversations about 2018, but yeah, it is an interesting point. And of course, for you guys that haven't seen it, you got to check out my video on 2018 because I spoke specifically about the opening and just kind of the ins and outs of that. But Eric, you're all right. Okay, so
I do my best.
Gil, what do you think about the openings, man?
You know, I see this is the issue I have coming right after Eric, because him and me, we agree so much on things. No,
Hey man, I could switch you and
no. I'm just playing. You know, great minds think alike. No,
That's
but
right.
the Rob Zombie version, I love Rob, but this family and Rob's kind of southern Kentucky Fried version of the family.
We know what you're getting at.
You know, he puts so much of it, and I've said this before, he puts so much of his Rob-isms into it that it can be a little jarring. It's a bit much. Whereas what 2018 was just so subtle, and it ramps up to a crescendo of being in that open area space in the mental ward outside, where just the sheer fact of these podcasters bringing this mask causes everyone to lose their shit, except for Michael. And the way that the camera go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, man. That's exactly what I was saying. But if you guys haven't seen that video, check out the video because that's exactly what I said. Go ahead, man. Keep preaching.
Once again, great minds, man. But you know, and the sheer fact of the cinematography of it, where the camera is there, and you see James Jew, Courtney, but you don't see him, and it's so elegant, and just ominous. You know, the little body movements that are done. It's just a great opening. So yeah, I got to go 2018 on this one.
Okay, all right. So Kill's going with 2018. And real quick, too, in the chat, we got to give a huge shout out to our good friend Sarah, who is being super generous tonight, gifting 5 memberships, bro.
Oh, wow.
That is absolutely amazing.
Good for you.
Thanks, Sarah.
Very cool. Yeah. And it looks as though we've got, and I make sure I get this right, we got Nathaniel was gifted one. Let's see. Nice. Jason was gifted one. Oh, Jason. Well, actually, both Jasons. You guys are back in the fold. That is awesome. Very, very cool. And I think I missed one, but yeah, very, very cool, man. Thank you so much, Sarah. We really, really appreciate. You're just always so supportive. It makes a big difference. It helps us to be able to do these types of videos and streams and stuff to the level that we do. This one's for you. Thank you so much, Sarah.
Bring that fat ass over here. Lift. Like this. Swing your hips. Swing your hips. Swing your hips. Gotta work that ass for daddy. No.
Hey, look. While that's playing, if you can see the look on Eric's face, he's just going like this.
I need that as my ringtone. Is there any way you could like do that?
Oh, we can definitely make that happen.
Well, you gotta make that happen for me.
Oh my God. We could do that. Sarah, thank you so much again, man. Seriously, saying I'm loving this week's showdown. Haha. There you go. Thank you so much. Seriously, that makes all the difference. Thank you so much. Chuck's in the chat too. Val singing along with it. Baya. There you go. Rick's in the chat. What's up, man? James as well. Okay. All right. So let's get to you, Coriander. Which opening are you going to be going with?
Okay, so I disagree with both of these fellas that are above me. I feel like the Brady Bunch here. Um, but yeah, I guess because I can relate to being in a whacked out, abusive, relationship. So, and yeah, it's raw, it's gritty, but I mean, it to some extreme, it's out there, so I mean, the fact that Rob is bringing that forth, I think that's an interesting point also,
Mhm.
where with how I see things. But in that being said, I am going to pick 2018 because I love, well, I'm just saying I like Rob Zombies also,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but I think Killian said it well. It was elegant. It looked, I used to play chess. If I had a chessboard, I would teach Knight and we would
Yes.
play chess.
Oh,
And
I'm
it,
teaching
it
my
just,
daughter how to play. Yep.
that's
Mhm.
awesome. And yeah, I mean, I just love, like Killian said, the little movements, the way he just stood there. And
Mhm.
yeah, it was just great. So I have to go 2018.
Okay, all right. So for me, it's really really interesting because they chose two different ways to do this. Okay, and there's a lot of that within these two films as far as choosing different ways to approach the mythology of Michael. I think Rob's had some interesting points because first of all, he's telling a backstory that we to that point had never seen. So there was an interesting aspect to that, right?
Mhm.
But I do agree. I think Eric, you said it first. I do agree that there was such an intensity that was like just thrown at you like in
Yeah.
droves that you almost couldn't I couldn't see the forest for the trees. You get what I'm saying? So it's
Mhm.
like I wasn't able to kind of get all the little things that I wanted to get out of it. Whereas with 2018, I think it was an opening that ramped up the atmosphere and the tension bit by bit, minute for minute, and when you see Michael in that courtyard, first of all, and I talked about this in the videos, I know I keep referencing the video, but definitely if you haven't checked out the video, check out the video. But I think there was a lot of little clues in that scene. I think the fact that the courtyard was like a chessboard, like Coriander was saying, it's almost like playing chess against Michael and his mentality. You know what I'm saying? Like bit for bit. That's kind of how I saw it. The fact that he doesn't move when everyone else is going batshit crazy totally plays into Michael. When he kills, well, this mythology of Michael that goes back to Carpenter's Michael, when Michael kills, he doesn't show any emotion. He's not happy, mad, sad, angry, whatever. He just kills and it's over. He's the shape of a human. So in that scene, James Drew Courtney showed all of that without saying a word and without moving at all, except for that little turn of his head when
Mhm.
Aaron pulled out the mask. Just a small little turn. So obviously, I got to go with 2018 on this one because I just think it was so understated, so many cool things in it. Even Sartain, when we're introduced to Sartain, Aaron is doing his recording and he's talking about Michael and he says something like something, and here we see the monster. And as soon as he says monster, Sartain comes through the locked door. Right. And I think that was a clue because we find
Mhm.
out that Sartain is a monster. So
Right.
there's little Easter eggs in there, guys. Check out my video. You'll see more about that. Okay. So there we go for the opening. Real quick, let me catch up to the chat. You guys are all right. Jason's coming in hot. $5 super chat. Thank you, Jason. Saying Sarah is my hero. Rough day today for me. Can I get Killian to give me a Mr. Happy Hates glass that needs in the store? Thanks a lot, man. Okay, Kill. Can you do that for Jason?
Mr. Happy hates glass.
And we
He hates it.
we hope your day gets better, man, and hope that this helps out a little
Hmm.
bit.
Mhm.
But thank you for being here, man. We appreciate you so much. You know that. Brandon coming in with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. Saying to me, 18 felt like a true Halloween film in all the ways that mattered, though 07 felt far more terrifying in its day. 18 for the win. Okay, so we're bringing in 5 points for 2018. All right. It has begun. Here we go. Okay, and for the rest of you guys jumping in, we got some other people coming in. And welcome. JML's in the chat. All right. Very cool. Hope you're doing well. And Sarah, you're all right. Thank you so much. Congratulating Brandon on his first super chat. Absolutely, man. It's very, very cool. Brandon saying, thank you. Glad to finally catch a live stream. We're glad you could make it too, man. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We love doing these. We're doing these every Tuesday night. And we're doing it because you guys seem to enjoy it. It's awesome. All right. So, Eric, let's go to our next category, brother. Next is the music. The music. What are your thoughts, man?
Like you know me, it's how is the music used? Going 2018 because I love the classic, John Carpenter scores used in both films. I like how Carpenter tweaks it a little bit, him and his son, and then there's a third person that was working the music. They tweak it a little bit in 2018. I don't think it's used right in Rob Zombie's. Rob didn't even want to use it at all. So he basically just threw it in the scene where Michael's running away from the principal's office. But what really makes me really push 2018 ahead of Rob's, that notwithstanding, is the scene when they're in the basement, I guess you would say, and I'm not good with names. Laurie's daughter, when she's got the shotgun, Karen, and she's waiting for that to open for Michael. That score, which is nowhere near the classic score, is used perfectly because it helps build the intensity and the little strings that happen. You're waiting for him to pop up. So, gotta go 2018.
All right, brother. And Brandon Abellum, thank you so much for also congratulating Brandon, our other Brandon. We got multiple Brandons, Erics, Jasons. We love it. Saying welcome to the Nightwatch, brother. And Brandon saying longtime viewer and thanks for the kindness. Well, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it and glad you could make a live stream. That's always so much fun. All right. Kill, what about you, man? Let's talk about the music and what you're going to pick for your point.
So once again, this is like a easy street question for me because it's a cheat because I own the score to one of these on vinyl. I got it. There's no lying here. I got to go with 2018.
All right.
I own the score on vinyl. It's amazing, and not only the John Carpenter tracks or the remixed John Carpenter tracks, but just the way that it's used in conjunction with other elements. For me, one of my favorite spots of music is the scene where the daughter is walking with the guy who's kind of just trying to be her friend and tries to make a pass at her. And then he gets killed in that awesome scene where the light is going in and out of the lawn. And he's yelling and she comes back. And when she sees Michael, the music kicks in with this. It's like, oh, and she's doing her best Sarah Connor. No, you're trying to get away from Michael because the boogeyman is real, and the music is just like, told ya, and it just
I told ya.
I mean, seriously,
with that slap.
Do me a favor, once this podcast is over, go just look at that scene real quick because the music just ramps up so much, like boom, and it's just like, and he's just walking slowly, like, hey, how you doing? I'm real, So yeah, I gotta go 2018.
All right, okay. Coriander, how about you?
I'm a fan of Rob's music. I love the music that he puts in his films. But I do have to go with 2018 because the music just made the scenes just that much more. And and these guys, I mean, they said it well too. So what more can I say after that? So yeah, man.
All right. Okay. Jason saying, Killian, 100%. That scene made my heart stop. Yeah, man. Yeah. Barb's in the chat. What's up, Barb? Good to see you. Saying, love your 1982 movies, by the way. Coriander Cat people, love that you chose that. Yeah, thank you so much.
Nice.
We've been having fun going through the 80s. So if you have not seen our videos where we're going through each year in the 80s, we've got our 1980 best of, and then we also have our 1981. And we also just had our 1982. So definitely check those out. We put a lot of time into those, and hopefully 1983 will be up very soon. All right. Very, very cool. Okay, so for me, this one was, again, there's almost two different styles going on with these two movies. And Eric, you said something that was really, really interesting, because I was saying this to Coriander when we rewatched these. You know, Rob didn't want to use the original theme, and when he did, it was changed up a little bit. Like I don't know if it's the tone, but it was different. In other words, you know what I'm saying? Now, obviously, we all know that Carpenter came back to do the 2018 music, but here's the thing for me, and Kill said it perfectly. There were so many new bits of music that were amping up different scenes. This was new music that Carpenter had scored with his son, and I thought it was some fantastic stuff that actually created a better mood, right? And that's one thing that makes me choose 2018, is that it set up a lot of tension and atmosphere. That scene where Michael's in Laurie's house and Karen and Allison are in the little panic room in the basement, and Michael had already had his hand blown off, and it's panning up. It was a clip that we showed in the intro here, and the camera pans up on Michael. Man, you just hear that, and it's just like, wow, it just amps up everything, man. So I'm gonna go with 2018 as well. All right, real quick too, Troy's in the chat. What's up? And again, you guys, if you haven't hit the like button, please do. It really helps us out. Jamie saying Rob Zombie picked great songs for 2007, but the Halloween 2018 score felt like home. That's a great way to word it, because I think that Rob Zombie had some great songs in the movie. As far as the Halloween score itself, I don't think it was as good as 2018, but he had great song choices.
He had Rush. Can't go wrong with Rush.
He did. You know I love Rush, man. Of course, that was a great scene with our good friend Joe. Who's got the Cracker Jacks? Joe Grizzly. All right. Jason coming in with a $2 super chat saying, have I told you lately Phantasm rules? You have, man. Thank you.
Only Jason was around with the super chats for the Phantasm battle, right?
Oh, wow. Yes, that's true, man. But who knows? The tall man might have to have a rematch.
Oh, he will. I'm sure that's inevitable.
He will. Yeah. All right. Okay. Kay's in the chat too. What's up, Kay? Good to see you. All right. Okay, Eric. Let's go to our next category, bro. Next category is supporting characters. Supporting characters. Now, what this means is all of the characters that you do not see on the screen. So that does not count Annie, Linda, or Laurie, and it doesn't count Laurie, Allison, or Karen. We're talking about all the other characters.
Well, if they're not on the screen, then I'm going with 07. And here's why. 2018, I don't like... again, I'm bad with names. Was it Allison? Is that the granddaughter? Okay.
Yes.
Don't like her boyfriend. Don't like the best friend who Cameron. Don't like the best friend who falls for her and tries to put the moves on her. You know what I mean? They're either people I don't like or people that just don't leave an impression. You know what I mean? Now, the supporting characters in 07, since it's not, the three girls, I love Malcolm McDowell as Dr. Loomis. Love him. I love Brad Dourif as the sheriff. You know what I mean? And honestly, even though I kind of trashed the opening sequence of his movie, and, people do trash on her a lot, I think Sherry Moon Zombie as Michael's mother does a really good job of being that mom who just wants to help her son, and she knows everything they're doing is failing. So I
Mm-hmm.
gotta go with 07.
Okay. All right. Kill. How about you, bro?
Well, it's funny. As I'm looking and I'm thinking of the characters that aren't on any of this photo, the only character I could think from 18 is Dr. Satrakian.
Sartain?
I'm sorry, yeah, Dr. Sartain.
Yeah.
And the sheriff, of course.
Yeah. Frank.
Will,
Yep.
Will Patton. We love
Mm-hmm.
him.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, if this was Halloween Kills, that supporting cast is like, wait, it's the whole town.
Right.
I'm gonna go with 2018. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm gonna go with 2007 Rob Zombie for this one because
Okay.
you literally have the rest of her family and their characters in itself.
Mhm.
And then of course, I agree with Eric. Sherry Moon. Say what you want about her acting.
Mhm.
She was the whole beginning part of this movie really is her show. Just
Yeah.
the bond between her and her little boy. I
Mhm.
mean,
Mhm.
she does a great job as playing a concerned mother and doing what she has to do to put food on the table and take care of her
Mhm.
boyfriend who's a piece of crap.
All right.
And then of course Dr. Loomis and so forth. So yeah, I'm gonna have to give this to Rob.
Okay. All right. And real quick too, we got another channel anniversary for Barb. 1 month
Right.
as a
Hey.
member. All right,
Nice.
Barb. Thank you so much. Saying so thankful for an amazing horror community. There are 3 channels I watch the most, and this is on that list. Much gratitude to the creators of YouTube. Thank you so much, Barb. We
Okay.
appreciate you seriously, and glad that you enjoy your time over here. Seriously.
Yep.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Jason's in the chat. Jason Rushman, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Ronan is saying supporting characters is the only category I'm willing to give to Rob Zombie's Halloween. I'm going to wash my mouth out with soap now. Okay.
It's okay. A victory is a victory.
You never know. You never
Mhm.
know.
Yeah.
Remember, and that's one thing. Well, we'll talk about that afterwards, but you never
Mhm.
know. You never know.
Very
And
true.
Jamie's going with 2007 as well. Okay. Very, very cool. All right. So, Coriander, how about you? We're going for supporting characters. Who are you picking?
Yeah, I have to go, 2007. People haven't mentioned that, Dee Wallace, maybe I didn't hear it, but Dee Wallace,
Mhm.
I loved her in this. And,
Mm-hmm.
you felt bad, obviously, when she gets it, but,
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
and obviously, yeah, Brad Dourif. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I loved him as Sheriff Brackett. And, so yeah, I'm gonna have to go with 2007.
Okay. All right. Very, very cool. And D is also going with Rob. All right. All right. Jason, nice one's in here. All right. Oh, thank you. Okay. Very, very cool. So for me, the supporting characters, I definitely think that there's some good ones in 2018 because I really love Sheriff Hawkins. Will Patton is just fantastic. I really, really do enjoy him. I actually, not that I was super on board with some of the things that Cameron did, but I did think that his character was interesting. At least it made me kind of interested in what he was doing. I think he has better character development in the next movie, but that's a whole nother story. But I got to go with Rob Zombie as well because I think that you have these characters, and of course Rob Zombie does this. He always has a lot of different actors, a lot of character actors that but it usually is to the strength and advantage to his movies. You got Sig
Mhm.
Haig, you got Dee Wallace, you got Ken Faree, just name after name after name. Obviously Brad Dourif, who was really, really good in this and was even better in the next movie, in my
Oh,
opinion.
yeah.
So this one was actually one of the easiest ones for me, and I'm going to go with Rob Zombie's Halloween. All right. Here we go. Brandon saying Rob has so many horror alumni in his movies, and I love it. Yeah. Yep. Agreed.
Mhm.
Absolutely agreed. No doubt. Chris saying Rob Zombie Halloween for this one, Dee Wallace, Brad Dourif, and Ken Faree. Yes, Joe Grizzly.
That's right.
You gotta love Joe Grizzly.
Yeah.
He's the best. He's the best of all time. Okay, let's get ready. And Danny Trejo. That's right. Hatchet Boy
That's
and
true.
Danny Trejo. Yep. And he actually
Yeah.
had a nice little part himself.
Mhm.
Very,
He
very cool.
did. I loved his character.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was really cool, man. I
Yeah.
really
I
enjoyed
felt
seeing
bad
him.
when he got it.
I know.
He's like, I was
like,
nice to you, Mikey.
I know.
It was
I was
nice.
like,
It was nice seeing Danny play a good guy for once. You know what I mean?
yes, yes, yes. And I'm like, man, you can't kill Machete. Come
Yeah.
on, man, you can't do that.
Well, maybe he was the grandpa from Spy Kids when he killed him and not Machete. You know?
Right? All right. Let's go to our next one, y'all. We're going to acting. We're going to acting, Eric. What do you think, man? I think this is going to be an interesting one.
Now, see,
He's sighing.
I am, because there's both films, in my opinion, have really, really good acting, and then some of it is just like atrocious, or just acting that maybe, you know what? Let me think. You know, they do their job by making you hate the characters. I'm going with 07. Here's why.
Okay.
Here's why. Malcolm McDowell. I think he was a perfect successor to Donald Pleasance. And here's why. What I liked about what Malcolm McDowell did, and this is no disrespect to Jamie Lee Curtis, but the thing is, I've seen better versions of Laurie from her, in my opinion. I think H2O, she nailed it with the PTSD and, you know, the drinking problem and the problems with her family. This, I think she just kind of forced it in. But with Malcolm McDowell's, we get two versions. We get the one who wants to help him during the hospital years, you know what I mean? And then the one who wants to stop him in the second half of the movie.
Right.
And I think he's just perfect, you know, given those two different versions of him. So I have to go to 07. It's close. It's very close, because he's the key for winning for me.
Yeah. All right, man. How about you, Kill?
This is close, because the acting styles, you know, for both these movies, along with the direction, kind of play a factor in my decision. But I'm going to go with 2018, and essentially not necessarily because of Jamie Lee Curtis, but Judy Greer. Judy Greer, throughout this movie, you kind of hate her up until the end, when she finally goes down into the into the arsenal room. She starts loading weapons, and she realizes, damn it, mom was right. And she's like, and it's like, boom.
And she grabbed her gun.
Yeah, and she switches. So her journey just through this movie alone was interesting. Then, of course, you have Allison, who has to play innocent, you know, fragile, but also smart and a survivor. And then you have, you know, Jamie Lee. She's a recovering alcoholic. She's lost all of her connections with her daughter. The only person who really does care for her or is in her life is the granddaughter. So just seeing them play off in their family dynamic that's a little twisted, way less twisted than Rob's family dynamic. I just have to give it up to 2018.
All right. Very, very cool. Real quick, Coriander, before I get to you, we got Ronan going with 2018 for acting. Friday is going with Rob Zombie. Let's see. Frank saying this debate makes me want to rewatch 2018, which I think is the best of the trilogy. Very, very cool, man. That's why we love doing these debates, man, is to give folks some things to think about and hope that they do rewatch them. Yeah. Chris agreeing with Eric on this one, 2007 for the win here. Iceberg's in the chat. What's going on? Saying he's going with Rob Zombie for everything overall. Okay.
Wow.
There you go. There you go. Keep a tab on the points. You might have to help out. Jamie saying acting is 2007. It's so memorable. Great acting by Sherry Moon, at least in my opinion.
That's true. No, she was really good. It's not just Malcolm. She was really good too.
She really was, man. But I'm also glad. Well, actually, let me get to you, Coriander, and then I'll say my bit. Coriander, who are you going with for acting?
You know, I'm gonna go with 2018, and I'm basing it on, like, I like the journalists and how they reacted when Michael appeared. You know, it's tough because they're both good, but I like you see the struggle that Jamie's had with this traumatic experience and how it forever changed her.
Yeah.
Um, there's just, yeah, I could go on, but I'm not going to. So yeah, I'm going to go 2018.
All right. Okay. Real quick too in the chat, James is going with 2018. All right. All right. Let's see. Ty's in the chat. What's going on? And by the way, if you guys haven't hit the like button, please do. It helps to support the stream. Let's see. Apollo's in the chat. Yo, Apollo. What's up, man? Saying both shapes were
Oh
too
my
brutal for
God,
my
dude.
taste.
Please
What?
do that again.
Hey, yo, Apollo. Yeah, man. You've heard me do that before.
But that was really good. Oh my God.
Oh, well, thank you. All right. Apollo's a
Oh,
fan of the
man.
old school ones. All right. All right. Okay. So for me, this was really challenging, man, because I think both movies have some really great moments for the actors. As far as the acting, you guys actually named quite a few of these things, but I want to go back to what Kill was saying, giving a lot of credit to Judy Greer, because I think that her performance was so understated, and I really did dislike her in this movie. And not because I'm disliking her because as a viewer, as a fan, I know what's going on. I know Laurie is right. I know that you have to be prepared for Michael. You have to, buck up. And she has this idea that the world's full of love and this and that. It's like, I don't know what world you're living in. It's not the world I grew up in. but she was amazing, I think. And Will Patton is a great character actor as well. On the other side, Dee Wallace can never do any wrong. Ken Faree, Sig Haig. I mean, the list goes on and on and on, man. It's just so many people that had some great moments, including those that have been stated, like Danny Trejo as well. So I'm going to give this one to Rob Zombie's Halloween. I'm going to edge it out. And it's because of the amount of just really great moments as far as acting. I think there's a lot of great moments of acting. It just edges out 2018 a little bit. There's great character arcs for 2018, but we're talking about the acting itself. That's how I'm grading this. And I've got to edge it out for Rob Zombie because I think that there's a lot of great moments where these actors get to really showcase their skill.
One scene I'll throw this out real quick that I really like in 07 is, we were talking about how great Dee Wallace is. She's just playing a mom and a wife, but she's so likable and lovable. One of my favorite scenes is literally her and her husband. They're giving out the candy and Laurie's leaving, and then she just the way they're flirting. You want to go get lucky? Yeah, sure. They've been married that long. That's the type of conversation that they had. It's real lovable and cute before the storm happens, type of thing. So it's just little scenes like that.
Yeah, and because of that, it makes you even more invested when Michael totally obliterates them.
Yeah.
Were you going to say something, Coriander?
I wasn't like grading mine on like character arcs or story.
Yeah,
I was doing it, obviously the scene with Laurie in the restaurant, right? When she saw Michael, and I mean her acting there, that was good. I felt so bad for this woman.
Yeah,
and
I did too.
Yeah, so I just I had to say that.
Yeah, that's a great point, man. It was a great scene by Jamie Lee Curtis. A lot of people, myself included, you sometimes forget that she's a good actress, man, and definitely has some good moments in a slasher horror film, and that's a whole nother story to talk about. But
look at her. She started in horror and she just won an Oscar.
One quick thing I just want to add, for 2018, a lot of the main characters have an arc, even Sartain. You see them switch. For me, I didn't see that much of a change in the acting arc for the Rob Zombie ones. If somebody was an asshole, they were like an asshole throughout the whole thing. There was like no, and the actors didn't really have to challenge, what they were doing dramatically in the movie. Not that I'm going to Rob Zombie for dramatics, but
yeah,
that's a good point.
Good point, man. All right, it's a tough one. It really is. To me, it's pretty close. It's pretty close. Real quick too in the chat, Jason's coming in with a $2 super chat. Thanks so much, man. Saying, Night, can we get can we get another Yo Apollo epic? Hey, Yo Apollo. There you go. Thanks so much, man. We appreciate you. And listen,
you need
just
to
because
like clip that first one because it just hasn't been the same since you've done that. And
Well,
God, that was perfect.
now you got me thinking about it and stuff like that, man. It's like, hey, Yo
It was-
Apollo. All right.
There you go. That's
All
good.
right. Hey, look, man, I'm feeling pretty lucky. Hey, you know who else feels pretty lucky? This guy.
Come on, Sal. Tigers are playing 2 nights. I never miss a game.
I never miss a game. I love it. Clarence Boddicker. If you guys weren't here last week, you got to check out the replay.
Guns,
All right.
guns, guns.
Guns, guns, guns. I love it. All right, man. Jason, thank you so much, bro. We appreciate you so much. Michael's in the chat too. What's going on? Let's see. Kay knows what's art. He'll never miss a game. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Jason, you're all right too, brother. You're all right too. Okay, let's go. We spent some time on acting, man. I think that shows that both movies had some really interesting parts.
Well, see, that's the thing about these categories. It makes you think, a lot of people, hate to say it, just trash on Rob Zombie's Halloween movies just because it's the thing to do or it's so different. Well,
Right.
these categories really make you break it down and think about it at times.
And not
That's
only
true, I
that,
think-
we're talking about the first one. I think the second one, oh God. Anyway.
White Horse?
Well, you never know, man. I think.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Let me just say this, and I've had some people even in some of the. I had a poll up earlier just to kind of get people prepped for this, and there was a couple people that said, "Well, you can't even compare these two, guys." I'm telling you right now, I'm looking at the score, and it is close. It is close. I don't even know who's ahead. But that's why we like doing this because we break it down by categories, and it really makes you think a little bit before you just automatically say one or the other. So, all right, let's go to our next one. Next category, Eric. The better mask. You knew there was no way I would not have this as a category after all the horrendous masks that we've had in this franchise, especially after Halloween 2 in 1981. Okay, man, what do you think?
Yeah, we don't speak of the Halloween 4 mask. We spoke of that enough in our stream. I'm going with 07 Rob Zombie, and here's why. I like the way 18 looks, but I love the way 07 looks because it looks tattered, it looks worn. It's been under floorboards, you know what I mean, for however many years Michael's been in the sanitarium. And that, with me, it fits the theme because Rob's version is much dirtier. It's much grimier. And I just think it looks scarier, if that makes any sense. I do like the 18 one, but the tatteredness and the dirtiness of the 07 just pushes it ahead.
All right. Okay. Kill. How about you, man?
This is tough. I'm really hardcore when it comes to the mask.
That's
and
right.
Rob's mask was the best mask we had pretty much since the original. And I love how menacing and it kind of has these anger lines a little bit for the brow. But I got to go with 2018. And one of the reasons for me for 2018, this is going to sound silly because I do nitpick this. When James Jews is wearing it, around the neck, it's tight, almost to the point where it looks like a continuation of skin. Tyler's, and even you could kind of see it in this picture here. Now, it doesn't always look like that, but that looks more like a killer wearing a mask, whereas the image on the right, that just looks like the mask is almost a part of that person. And the dark eyes, I feel like the eyes in the 2018 mask are smaller, which kind of gives that blackness to it. And of course, my favorite scene is when he when he puts it on, in the back, the trunk at the gas station. Broad
Yeah.
daylight, I don't care. He lifts up this the hood with the trunk, and he just puts it on slow, like, ooh yeah. You know? So yeah, I gotta go 2018 for this one.
Hey, look, man. He's walking around in the all white. He finds a mechanic because he's got to get a mechanic. He takes care of business in the bathroom, and then he's like popping the trunk and putting it on. He's all right in broad daylight.
And another thing is they know they have a good mask in 2018 because the poster ain't nothing but the mask. It's nothing but the mask. They're like, we heard you guys. Don't worry. We got you.
Hey, look, it's been decades of frustration with the Halloween mask, and they're like, okay, we're going to figure this one out.
Yeah.
It's going to be front and center.
Had your boys in. Both look great, but I'm going with 2018. I like the H6 mask as well, but nothing beats the OG. Yeah, six was okay. 6 is when they finally turned it around, because as much as we love Don Shanks as Michael in 5, that was horrendous. The mask was horrendous. It's hanging out all over the place. You could fit like 3 heads in there. It's like, what's going on, man? You don't do that. You don't do that to Michael Audrey Myers. You don't.
I still think 4 is the worst because he looks like a melted mime, but that's just me.
Yes. All right, Coriander, how about you? Who are we going with for the better mask?
Okay, so I do like, both. But I think Rob Zombie's mask, I don't know, it just, to me, it doesn't have that look of Michael Myers, of the Michael Myers mask.
Mm-hmm.
The 2018 reminds me of the original, but it's different. But it still reminds me of it's like aged. You know what I mean? It's like aged along the way, and it just looks more like Michael Myers to me than the mask that Rob Zombie's dude is wearing. It's like, what is that? It looks like it's just it looks like a scarecrow. So yeah.
Okay, all right. I hear you. I will say for me, I get what you mean, Coriander, because although I do think both masks are good, and I do think Rob Zombie's mask was the best mask since the original, or Halloween 2, I guess I'll say that too. But so it was great to see that. But I do think that the 2018 mask, it feels like it continues from the original more. And of course, we know that because they literally spent so much time figuring out how to imitate the original and age it up. You know what I mean? And they got about as close as you can get. So I'm going to go with 2018. Let me just say that right now. I'm going to go with 2018. It is not close, but I do love Rob Zombie's mask. Let me just get that out of the way too. I absolutely love the way Tyler looks in the mask. But Kill said it best. He said one thing that was on my mind, and I didn't think anyone else was going to say this, but you said it perfectly, Kill. You can see it right in this image. When you look at the 2018 mask, you can't see his eyes. Just the way that the mask looks on him, it looks so fucking creepy.
The blackest eyes.
The devil's eyes, and it just looks so creepy. Now, the other thing too is that they made sure in the movie, and I'm not taking it away from Rob Zombie, but we know this because I've done a lot of videos on it. David Gordon Green spent hours every time Michael was on screen. They made sure that the mask was lit correctly. Like, he always wanted to make sure that it looked good, the mask itself, and it shows. So, all right, man, I'm going with 2018. Real quick to catch up into the chat. Let's see. The Kills mask is surely better than Rob Zombie Halloween 2. Okay, well, we haven't gotten to that yet. We won't get to that yet. We'll see though. You never know. Barb saying that's true. There's something about the darkness by the eyes. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, that was an awesome point that Kill made. Let's see. Iceberg saying underrated opinion, but I don't really hate the CGI mask. Oh, and H2O. Ooh. All right. Ooh. All right. That'll be a conversation for another day, I think. Ooh. All right. So
let's have a week in between to
Hey, do you think Busta Rhymes could have beaten, this Michael wearing the 2018 mask?
Hell no. Did you see what he did in Kills?
I know.
He would have laid Busta out so quick. All right, so let's
There would be no finger pointing from Busta in 2018.
look. James would have broken his.
He would have
finger.
grabbed the fingers and
Yes.
Hell
yeah, man. Hell yeah. Brandon in the chat saying, "Night, I think we need to hear. I shot him 6 times in your best." You guys are funny, man. I shot him 6 times. I shot him in the heart. Oh man,
Nice.
Thanks a lot. If that girl dies tonight, that's the one I love. I love that one.
Boy.
All right. Next category. This is going off the rails, man. This is hilarious. Okay, Eric.
That's what we do.
Next up. That's what we do, man. All right, so we're going to talk about story. So what do you think, Eric? Which movie had the better story?
Oh, easy street for me. 07. And here's why. Because I like, a lot of people love the mysterious evil stuff with Michael. I never got attached to that. I liked learning that Michael came from this broken home. I liked the whole, no positive male influence. I loved the relationship of Loomis and his mom trying to do what they can to, lack of a better term, heal him, make him better in the sanitarium. I really enjoyed that stuff. And then halfway through, we just get Halloween. You know what I mean? So with 2018, it was to me, just another Halloween movie. Sequel or not, Michael breaks out, then Laurie's got to protect her family. It's pretty clean. Hate to say cookie cutter for me. I'm going Rob Zombie.
All right. Okay. Kill, how about you? Where are we going with this one?
See, this is tough because in one respect, I agree with Eric, but for me, it's like the meat of the story of 07 is at the beginning, and then it gets cookie cutter to me. Whereas the meat of 2018, especially with the 3 generations of these women in this family, it's kind of arced all the way through, like, with pretty much the character journeys that all 3 of these women go through. So this is tough. There's no lying here. I'm gonna have to go with 2018 because as much as I love the Sherry Moon, zombie stuff at the beginning and all of the backstory that Rob put in there, which I thought fleshed out Michael a lot, just like Eric was saying, and I love that. I felt once that happened, and I guess once you went from child Michael to adult, then it's kind of cookie cutter. We're back to what we're at. I'm gonna have to go 2018 on this one.
Okay. All right. How about you, Coriander?
See, the only thing that bugs me with Rob's movie is that he took the brother and sister route. I never liked that. I didn't feel that they had to be related. I love how the story to 2018, you've got, you had your first movie and then it's like, what is it, 40 years later?
Yeah.
Right? And he's back, so you see a lot, as like I said, to how Laurie lived, how her poor kid, what she went through. And I just love the whole story of, and the fact that also Michael wasn't even looking for Laurie in 2018. He was just going to Haddonfield to kill whoever the fuck got in his way. And I love that. So I have to go with 2018.
All right. Okay. All right. Ty was saying that 18 was more to the point. Let's see who else we got in here. Chris was saying, I like the story in Zombies H2 better than the 2007. Okay. All right. For me, this is actually kind of difficult. I mean, you guys really touched on a lot of what I'm thinking as well, because I think both films have, familiar beats. Obviously, with 2007, it's the second half of it. Obviously, is super familiar. But again, we've talked about this before. Michael Myers' mythology, these movies, is not a super wide lane. Michael is going to kill people, and he loves using a knife to do it. That's basically what happens, and it's usually around Halloween. So, but that being said, I think I'm going to go with 2018 because of the fact that when I first saw it, there was more that I didn't know exactly how it was going to go. The first half of 2007, sure, very, very interesting. And I like a lot of the choices. Some were not my favorite choices, but overall I liked it. But then once he broke out, this was basically a remake of 78. So there was more in 2018 that I was surprised by, and especially being the fact that now, we have 3 generations of the Strode women that also added something very interesting to me. So it just is the way that it is when you're talking about a sequel versus a remake. But the reason that this is a great matchup is because this quote unquote remake did some new things, especially in that first half. So that's why this is still, in my opinion, a really good matchup for tonight. So anyways, I'm going to also go with 2018. Okay, guys, here we go. Barb saying that's fair, Knight. Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, this is not a landslide, as far as the decision, because I do think that 2007 had some really, really interesting stuff. There's no doubt about that at all. Real quick before we go to our next category, Radioactive coming in hot because he's radioactive. I love the name. $10 super chat. Holy crap!
Wow!
It has begun. Saying Rob Zombie's Halloween over 2018 any day. Better actors, better kills, better cinematography. One of the best slasher remakes next to TCM. Also, 2018 ripped off The Aged Mask. That is 10 points for Rob Zombie's Halloween.
We'll take
Guys,
it.
I'm just going to say right now. Oh, God. For you guys that are fans of 2018, watch out because Radioactive is not sitting by idly. Wow. Thank you so much for the super chat, though, bro.
Thank you, big time.
It means a lot. And it just takes me back to those days where sometimes you got to figure some stuff out, Kill. And you know who else has to figure out stuff, especially in the Halloween franchise? It's a good friend of ours. Here we go.
We are going to enter a mystery wrapped up inside of a riddle, inside of an enigma. Now, remember this.
That's the stupidest fucking thing I ever heard.
Don't worry, Lance. We won't forget it.
Yeah, boy.
Thank you for that.
I love it.
I needed that one.
Yeah, man. Radioactive, thank you so much. And again, that is 10 points. 10 to Rob Zombie's Halloween. Here we go. Okay, Eric. Hey, look, Brandon's in the chat said, hell yes.
I'm okay with it.
Oh, man.
I've been totally fair in the categories, but I can say I'm 100% okay with $10 going to Rob Zombies. Right.
And Barb's asking the question, do the super chats lean one way or the other? Yes. So for any super chat, you have to let us know which movie you're voting for. But for any super chat, per dollar is going to be a point. So that was a $10 super chat. So that is 10 whole points. 10. I just want to make sure I emphasize that. That's a lot of points. That's a lot of points. We haven't even gotten to 10 categories yet.
We're lucky Sir James isn't here tonight.
I know, Sir James. He's ready to
with last
roll.
week. Damn.
But yes, that will go towards the movie that you vote for. So absolutely. All right. You see Troy said Radioactive over here trying to buy a title. Hey, that's hilarious. All right, let's go to our next category. Yeah. Okay. Next, we're talking about the kills, Eric. Which movie had the better kills?
Both are really, really good. Both are very brutal in their own ways. What's going to put 07 over the top for me, and this is no knock to 18, it's when there's a kill that sticks in your mind, and it's when young Michael takes the baseball bat to the boyfriend. It's not just the way it looks, But you know me, I'm also a sound guy. Rob is perfect with the sound, with the thump, and then the clatter of the aluminum on the tile. That's an image and a sound that just sticks with you. And then just some of the kills that are just out of nowhere. Like I jumped the first time I saw it in the theaters when he kills Dee Wallace's husband, just out of nowhere, just swipes him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then even though, kind of like what we talked about with Terminator last week, a lot of Terminator kills were off screen, but it was like the impact that it left.
Right.
Dee Wallace is killed off screen, but we hear her screaming. And then when we see the aftermath with the tape recording on the answering machine, you know what I mean? That sticks with you too. So got to go with the kills in Rob Zombie's version, 07.
Okay. All right. Killian, how about you, man? Who are you going to go with?
This is tough because I really like both movies and their kills. But as far as entertainment, along with the kill, I'm going to go with 2018. Okay. And the reason for that is this seasoned version of Michael is an asshole. When he does the bathroom kill of the podcasters, he kills the guy, takes his teeth, and drops them into the stall of the woman who's losing her shit. And then you just say, "Hey, look at this."
Candygram.
He just sprinkles it. Yeah.
And that's one example. Then the example with the best friend in the lawn kill with the lights there, the motion, he could have kept walking the whole time.
Yep.
But clearly he kept stopping because of the motion light. And it was just like every time he's closer and closer, and then he's just, slashing at him and then spikes him on, the gate.
Yeah.
So this version, he doesn't care if it's two cops in a car eating banh mi sandwiches. He's gonna cut your head off. And I love me some banh mi sandwiches, and that's messed up. You're just
he's gonna shove a flashlight up your in your skull.
Yeah.
So
and the last one I'll say is your boy Sartain. He gets it pretty hard. He's like, "Oh, you want to be like me? Let me put this evil in you."
It was juicy.
It was so juicy.
It was.
But yeah, 2018.
All right. Okay, Coriander, how about you?
Yeah. Okay, Rob's kills were okay. The only thing I have to bitch about is the shaky cam. It was too dark. And I mean, you could see, you saw some shit. Obviously you did. But I'm just saying, like, the end kills for me at the end was just terrible because you couldn't fucking see anything. It was so dark. But in 2018, you saw everything. I mean, one of my favorite kills is when he's walking down the street and he goes up to that woman's house and she gets a phone call. Oh my God, there's murders that are happening. And you see Michael, she turns her back, walks in the kitchen, and he looks in her window and you see the reflection of him. And he just walks in from the back. She goes back to that window, grabs her head, pulls her head back, and shoves that knife through her throat.
Yeah.
That was, I mean, the kills in 2018, I loved. Right. So, yeah, man.
All right. Very, very cool. Troy was mentioning that too, the knife through the neck. Barb making a good point too, saying 07 kills were more impactful. 2018 was entertaining, if you will, but not emotionally impactful, if that makes sense. Rob Zombie has a way with his movies like that. I do think that that's a big difference, is like how you felt about the kill, the impact of it. Did it make you cringe, or were you, like you said, Coriander, the way that it was shot so you could see it better, the way it was presented, I should say. So I think that that's why this is a really interesting category. Real quick though, before I give my point, Val says, "Hold my beer." She's coming in. $20 super chat. Wow. Val, thank you so much. Seriously. First of all, thank you. Yeah, that is beyond awesome. Just being so supportive. But she's saying H18 for the win. James Drew Courtney is just amazing as the shape. It gave me the OG vibes again. The mask takes me right back to the OG. Oh, did I say James Drew Courtney was amazing as the Shape? Wow.
Yes.
Val is putting 20 in. She
Yes.
is challenging Radioactive for the
Yes,
pimp
she
of the day.
You made the Shape smile.
Wow.
Yeah,
I
man.
wish
That's great.
I wish I had an image. I do have an image of Michael, someone in the Michael mask smiling.
Yeah, there is a meme out there.
Oh,
I've used it before.
God.
It is. That's awesome.
It's a big like Cheshire Cat like cartoon grin.
Yes, yes.
Oh, man.
And wait a minute.
Yeah, yeah.
Here we go.
Oh.
Wow. Barb says, wait a second. She says, wait a second. Another $10 super chat saying I have to throw some cash down now because 18 was entertainment kills, but Rob Zombie's kills were emotionally jarring. Here's 10 points to 07. Now that I know how this works. Sorry, Val. Laugh out loud.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh, my
Wow.
goodness.
We're coming in with $10, which is 10 points for 07. This is crazy, guys.
Nice. Right?
Oh,
Oh,
my
man.
The
gosh.
ups and downs of this battle
Right?
world.
Yep.
Man, this is crazy, man. This is
Yeah.
I'm feeling all emotional here. I'm getting, you know how getting all mushy, and you know what happens when you get all mushy, Kill. There it is.
Oh, yeah.
There it is.
He's laughing off screen. You can't
laughing
help it.
That's awesome.
What was it? You guys were always laughing at as kids when you saw that, right? That's what it was.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
I wasn't
Yes.
expecting that.
Oh man, you gotta love it. All right.
Oh, man.
Barb said you gotta make the rules clear. I did say it at the beginning of the stream, Barb,
Mhm.
but you may not have heard it.
Maybe she came in late. She could have missed
I know.
it.
There's a lot of people that have come in late. And by the way,
Yeah.
if you haven't hit the like button, please hit the like button. It helps to support us. Chris is saying, "Go Barb." Jamie said, "Barb's throwing her hat in the ring now." That's right,
Yeah,
man.
she
They're not
is.
Right.
playing around, man.
Nope.
Wow. Val says it's all good, Barb. That's right. This is all for fun. Man. Very, very cool. Okay, guys. So for me, for kills, this was, I think, Coriander, you probably said it the best. I love the kills in both of these movies, but I think that the kills in 2018, first of all, the way they were presented, I was more engaged with them, and especially in the second half, which we know is, when we're kind of doing a redo of the OG and Rob Zombie's film, there was a lot of that the shaky cam moments, you know what I mean, which kind of sometimes made me just kind of, turn my head a little bit. There were great kills though in 07, but I think the 18 kills were just so well crafted, and just the way it was shot.
Clean.
They
Yeah.
just like the Friday the 13th mask with Richard Brooker. Speak of which, we know who the heavyweight champion is, right, guys?
We do.
The heavyweight champion of Battle World is waiting for a challenger, and that will be soon. Here's the heavyweight champion right here. There it is.
Yeah, that handsome
There it
devil.
is.
He's sitting there
Yeah.
waiting.
Yeah, man. So
Mhm.
yeah,
You got to earn that title shot.
You do. You do. Nice. Okay, guys, let's move on to our next category, man. Okay, so this will be one of our negative point categories. You're gonna love this. All right. So, question, Eric: who was the better character, Annie or Allison? We're talking
And
about
Allison
Annie,
is
the
I said
granddaughter.
granddaughter. Okay.
Mhm. So we're talking about Annie Brackett or Allison Nelson. Of course, Annie was portrayed by Danielle Harris, and Allison was portrayed by Andy Matichak.
Oh man. It's tough, and it's sadly for like negative reasons. Allison, for me, didn't leave that much of an impact, and I've watched this movie 3 times, and I'm and Danielle's version of Annie just kind of comes off kind of unlikable and kind of like a spoiled brat at times because her daddy's the sheriff. So, in this flip of a coin thing, I'm just going to say Annie because of my love for Danielle Harris, because honestly, I cannot choose fairly. Because one person I don't care too much for, and then one person I don't really remember.
Mhm.
So, to be fair, I'm just going to say I think Danielle is the better actress of the two, so that will push Annie over the top.
Okay.
It might not be a completely fair answer, but that's what I'm going with.
No, that's perfectly fine. That's why we talk it out. So that's perfectly fine, man. Kill, how about you, bro?
See, this is tough, and no disrespect to Danielle, but her version of Annie in this one, I don't fully remember a lot of the performance. Whereas Allison, love it or hate it, is there kind of front and center through a good chunk of the movie. She's the awesome granddaughter who still loves her grandmother. You know, she's that pure, protagonist, final girl archetype that we're used to. And yeah, in this movie, she's maybe not the strongest character or maybe not even the most likable in this movie, but she does have a journey and she's present, and her screen time is, from what I remember, so much more than what Annie was with Danielle. So I'm going to have to go with Allison on this one, 2018.
Okay. All right. Coriander, how about you?
I don't know why, like, every other girl has to, like, be showing it off and, getting lucky. I kind of like how Allison, this character, she can look, good, but she can be dressed. You know what I mean? And I just like how this, Allison, I like how her arc went too. With Annie, I mean, Eric kind of said it. She was spoiled at points, and it's like, oh, come on. And, I don't know. I just enjoyed Allison and her role in this version of Halloween than, Annie in this
All right.
one. So
Okay. All right. Real quick, man. Hatchet Boys is jumping into this thing. This is absolutely crazy,
saw that.
man. $50
Holy
super chat,
cool.
man. That is crazy
holy
stuff.
shit.
Wow. Thank you so much. Jeez, that is so
That is
appreciated.
crazy.
It's
Just bought you
amazing.
guys
Where
some
are you
dinner.
putting those points?
Pretty
That's
much.
what I want to know. Oh
Well,
my
it
God.
says, hey, I haven't been around a lot to help support your channel night. Been busy with my channel, but I always watch after the fact. Oh wow, thank you so much.
That's
I
cool.
appreciate that. That's really, really cool because
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
people have lives and so forth. Now, I just want to make sure to
Damn.
put this out here.
Oh my
So
God.
it's a super
Dude.
chat to us. It's not a super chat for one of these movies. If it is, let me know for sure. I'm assuming
Yeah,
that
we'll just
it's
end the
not.
stream right here.
Yeah,
Oh,
pretty
Pretty
much.
much.
oh, I
Pretty
hope
much.
it goes, Oh my God.
25 to each.
Oh my God. No.
Hey,
No.
that's perfectly fair. I second that.
No.
Eric.
No.
Oh my god. But thank you so much, man. I really appreciate
No,
that.
this
That's
the fact
awesome.
that happened is really cool.
Yeah, it is,
Right?
man. It makes a difference. It really, really does.
Yeah.
Helps us to keep things, the upkeep of the channel and everything. Thank you so much, man. Seriously. Wow. It's absolutely crazy. We gotta do a super chat clip for this one, man. And
Yeah.
why not do this one? If you guys were here for the episode, you know what's going on. Let's do this.
Gotta work that ass for daddy.
It doesn't get old.
That's good.
Nope, never will.
Oh my god.
Oh,
The look on Kill's face.
See, Freddy's Dead was good for something.
There
yes.
he goes.
Yes, it was.
There you go. Oh my god.
Oh, man.
And you guys obviously being so awesome. Thanking Hatchet Boys for the generous super chat. Thank you guys for also being so awesome as a community and just being so supportive of each other. Very, very cool. Okay, so Rodin's trying to get this thing on Hatchet Boys, put it towards 18. I love it. I love it. Yeah. So for me, between the two, this actually is very, very difficult. And there is, look, I mean, bottom line is this is a sequel versus a remake, but there's also a lot of other little things heading into this. And I will say everybody made some really good points. Coriander, you had a really good point about Allison and just how her character was developed. I will say with Annie that I think that Danielle Harris really, she was kind of natural in this role. It just felt like just really like, hey, Danielle Harris is comfortable. You know, she's older now and just doing her thing. I'm going to go with Annie, and I'm going to tell you why. Because when she got attacked by Michael, when I first saw this, and Kill, you remember we saw this in the theater, man. The first thing that went into my mind was, oh my gosh, Annie's going to really die in this one too. You know, so I was working on two different levels. I was working on the level of the character because I love the character of Annie from the original. And I truly, truly hated the fact that she died. But I was also working on the level of Danielle Harris and what she means to the Halloween franchise. And it just got me so invested in that moment that I couldn't, my gaze was fixed on it. So I'm going to edge it out with Annie on this one. And I love Allison, don't get me wrong, but like I said, the fact that Danielle was so natural in this role, and you could really feel like her and Lori were best friends. Of course, in real life, Danielle and Scout are best friends. So I think that she was just a little bit more seasoned in this character, in this role.
I was happy she lived. That's one thing that they changed. I was happy that she lived.
Yes.
And one thing that I do like about her, and we can't say death scene or attack scene, is, you know, she's topless, and you know, sure, you know, it's you know, great visual, you know, no either way to see it. But what I liked about that is, you know, she's more vulnerable now. She is being dragged across the kitchen floor like that, and again with the sound, with her bare skin against the linoleum, you hear that squeak, and then when she just runs out, she's running out, no shirt on, helpless, hopeless, and then she's yanked back in, and boom, you know. So.
And when he's dragging her and she's like clutching at the floor, man, I literally I was like, oh my gosh, you know, I was just so invested in that scene, you know what I mean? So anyways, yeah, it's a tough one, but I'm going with that. Okay, Eric, we're getting deep into this thing now, man. Our next category that we're going to go to is the director. Which director did a better job between Rob Zombie and David Gordon Green?
I'm going Rob Zombie, and that's easy street for me. And again, I will give David Gordon Green props when he gives props. The opening sequence was clean, crisp, pretty to look at, you know, with Michael just standing there. But then a lot of it to me is just nods to previous movies, and you know, they're just Easter eggs, and everyone loves the occasional Easter egg, but you know, this Easter egg, this happened in Halloween 2, this happened in, you know, there's the little, I love 3, there's a little trick-or-treaters from 3, and so on. I like how Rob had a vision, and he did exactly what John Carpenter told him to do. He made it his own. You know, he was, you know, we're always looking at the finished product. Yeah, he was forced to make the last half Halloween, you know what I mean? You know, 1978. But I still like the way he did. And if you see the behind the stuff, the man knows how to shoot behind a camera. You know what I mean? He's got a vision. He sticks to it. So got to go with Rob. All
right. Kill, how about you, man?
See, this is tough for me. Because in this one, there's comedy, there's family drama, there's like violence, great cinematography, and also just directing the body language of Michael Myers and the ferocity. And I agree with everything Eric said. Rob had a vision, and I love that he had his vision. It didn't
Mhm.
work too much for me on the second movie, but we're not talking about that one. We're talking about this one.
Right.
I'm gonna barely have to give it to Rob.
Okay.
Just because he was given a remake, they said make it your own, and he really did do that. No disrespect to 2018, but yeah, Rob squeaks this one out barely.
Okay.
Damn.
All right.
I'm
Jamie
shocked
saying,
by that answer.
Jamie,
I know there's no line here.
Yep.
It's close. It's very
Wow.
close for me.
Mhm. Real quick, Jamie saying there's a very hard choice for me because I think they both did great, but I have to give it to Rob Zombie. I prefer his cinematography and color palette. All right.
Mhm.
And we also have Chris saying dead even here too. I like both directors. All right. Okay, Coriander, how about you?
I'm not saying Rob isn't a good director. I loved his other movies that he did.
Mhm.
But I'm sorry, this movie, the whole shaky cam, the fact that some of it is in the dark, you don't even know what's going on. No, I'm sorry. For me, I've got to go the other way. I'm David Gordon Green.
Okay.
I like the way
Okay.
he did everything in this movie. So yeah.
Okay. For me, this was first of all, I think both directors did a great job, and I think that again they went in different directions. So it's part of it is which direction do you approve more? Okay, Rob Zombie, he did his thing. He made some specific choices, and so did David Gordon Green. But Corey, once again, and of course, I'm always the last one, but that's because I want you guys to make sure you say what you need to say. But Coriander, one thing that you said that really rings true for me is the direction that was taken as far as the atmosphere and how things were displayed, and also the darkness. There were scenes in the '07 film where it was hard to see what was going on. When he went in to attack Lori, there were parts of it where I was trying to see, and also at the end, the finale. So there were times when I just think that there should have been different choices made, and in the sense of what I want to see from Michael during the attacks. With David Gordon Green, and of course I said this earlier, but it is fact, it is out there. I mean, he painstakingly made sure that every time Michael was on screen, you could see what was going on. Like there was that level of commitment. Obviously Rob had commitment too, but I'm just speaking about that particular aspect. So that's why I'm going with David Gordon Green, because I think that the choices that he made overall worked better for me as a Halloween fan. Being able to see Michael, the way that the mask was lit every time, every single time. Like even in the clip that we showed in the beginning with the intro, both scenes where they both are, well, I don't want to get into that. That might be another category, but the lighting makes a difference too. The choices made so you can actually see what's going on very easily. So I'm going with 2018. Okay. All right. Danielle's in the chat saying Rob Zombie on director. All right. Hatchet Boys going with 2018. Fry Dave saying both have some great cinematography, but 2018 was better use of color lighting. Yes, visually better scenes. Okay. All right. That's kind of
And
how
they had more technologically advanced cameras.
That's true too. That's true too.
That's why the lighting was better. No, I'm just kidding.
But at the same time, I think Michael was lit very well in like Halloween 4, and that was even further back in the past in Rob Zombie. So yeah. And Val's come in. She's
determined.
She's like $10 super chat. Thank you, Val. Saying I got to give it to David Gordon Green while I give kudos to Zombie for trying to give us different version, but just what I want for a Halloween movie. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that is 10 points.
Nice.
Barb, you gonna let her get away with that? What are you, radioactive?
Wow, man. Val said, I'm taking a left turn. Hold my beer. Yeah. All right. Ty saying 18 looked too basic, no style. Wow, really? Okay. All right. Let's see. John in the chat, welcome, saying 2018. I didn't like knowing so much about Michael's childhood in 07. He's scarier when he's more mysterious. Okay. All right. Danielle saying, oh, it's pay to win rules again. If you guys bring in a super chat, we're going to definitely count those points. We're going to count those points. Absolutely. That way you guys can be involved in this too. All right, Eric. We're running short on time, bro.
Sure.
Next up, Lori versus Lori.
Oh,
Which version of Lori are you going with? Scouts
Come
or
on.
Jamie's?
I'm going. Go ahead. Throw the stones at me. I'm going with
Oh, good
07.
God.
And here's why.
Where is
Here's
my
why.
bag of shit?
Go ahead. Hey, bring it on. I don't care. Here's why. I find her more likable, and the thing is, yes, I get it. We've seen the trauma. We know the trauma that Jamie Lee's version's going through. Someone said it in the chat perfectly, maybe 20 minutes ago. It seems like Jamie Lee is phoning it in this one, and I think that too.
What?
I do. I do. I like. Yeah. I'll say it again. I think Jamie Lee is
Say it again. What?
I think put captions in this video. I think Jamie Lee is phoning it in this one. And here's why. I think Scout.
Dude.
Hey, opinions are
Oh my
opinions.
God.
Scout,
Yes,
I
it
like
is.
her. I like her acting because of the way she feeds off of everybody. She is so good when she's in the babysitter role. You know what I mean? The way she acts with those kids is great. She plays that protector role really well. She's the only likable of the of the three, that we have on screen, in my opinion, of the three friends, because she's not over the top obnoxious. I love her relationship with her mom. She's still a loving, caring kid, but she's still going to do something vulgar just to disgust her mom on the way to school. You know what I mean? She is, I just like her so much. Again, I just think Jamie's there for a paycheck, and I don't see anything special from her.
Oh my God, dude. Oh, wow.
Hey.
I don't know what to say.
No, you'll say it plenty when
funny.
it's your turn. I know.
You will. All right.
Okay.
All right. So
there's no lying here.
Kill, jump in here, man. What do you got?
Okay. This is, in my opinion, this is an easy street question for me. I'm going with 2018.
Yeah.
Once again, it's kind of unfair.
I love you,
because
Eric.
Oh, I know. It's all good.
Once again, it's kind of unfair because we're going from a remake to a sequel. And if we're just going on the two movies, the original Halloween and this one, this is the same exact woman, but this is a woman that has gone through 40 years of PTSD. She's gone through alcoholism, having her kid taken away from her, marriage, or, father of her, child, separated, you name it. She's known strife to the point where people are still looking at her in this community like, yeah, but did you do it? Are you crazy? And she's not likable. I agree with Eric. She's a bitch, but she's earned that shit. You know what? The fact is, as mean as she is, she loves her family. She loves her girls. She loves her daughter, her granddaughter. And if you come between them, you're going to lose.
Rick Grimes time.
Rick Grimes time. Walking Dead. But no, I love that this is the Terminator 2 Sarah Connor version of Lori. She's tough. She has a gun range in her backyard. She has a panic room. She has traps for Michael. She wants Michael to bring the smoke. And other than, I mean, really, am I the only one that's like, dude, I want to be in the panic room with her because she had a great
all those guns, right?
Guns.
But I think, and I'll wrap this up. I think my favorite scene of her is kind of the first scene we have with her and the podcasters. They want to do an interview. She wants money because she wants to give it to her granddaughter. That's the only reason why she did that interview. And she kept it short, sweet, and just put her hand out. Money. Get out.
That's a good point.
Well, those reporters kind of overstepped their boundaries too. right? With what they said
yeah,
about,
yeah.
oh, you lost your kid and
Right.
Mhm.
starting shit.
Yeah.
So,
But I love that she has been reduced to the scary old lady that lives in the woods. I just loved it. And all due respect, Eric, I don't think she
No,
phoned it in.
that's all good.
I think she is just this character, older, wiser, and just more hardened.
All
So
right.
2018.
All right. How about you, Coriander?
yeah, I mean, yeah. If Rob took Lori in another direction instead of after the beginning following suit to the original, maybe I would find a little more interest with her.
Mhm.
But you're going up against the OG. You're finally seeing, at least in my vision, just like when we talked with James Jude Courtney, these are my Halloween movies. Those other movies don't exist. So the fact that I'm now seeing what she's been through
Mhm.
and what she's still going through,
Mhm.
wow, man, I loved it. I loved it. 2018.
Okay. All right. For me, this one, first of all, let me just say this. And I know a lot of people and a lot of guys, you guys are on both sides of the field in the chat as always, which is why these matchups are really interesting. But here's the thing, guys. To me, it's not a question of, doing it for the money. All actors want to get paid. Scout wanted
Mhm.
to get paid too. And I think, and especially with Jamie Lee Curtis, I don't think it was about the money because they asked her to come back a bunch of times and she denied them. So it wasn't about the money. You know what I'm
And
saying? She didn't come back
can I
for
just
4. She didn't come back for
uh,
5.
uh,
She didn't come back for 6. She didn't come back for this remake.
My
So
saying that she phoned it in wasn't the fact that she only did it for money. It was a
no,
paycheck. It
no,
was just
no.
that she just seemed there.
Right.
You know what
No,
I mean?
no. I mean, just for some folks that are saying, well, it was a cash grab. You know what I
Okay.
mean? What were we gonna say, Coriander?
thank you, because I don't want to lose my thought. I mean, again, I'm going back to that James Jude Courtney interview when he said that there was a moment when him and Jamie Lee like shared this connection. I mean, she was putting everything into this role. She was putting
That's a good
everything
point.
into this character, Lori. So, Eric, I just, it's too bad you think that way, man. But
You'll be
I
all
don't
right.
know. Yeah, I gotta
You'll
disagree
survive.
because
That's okay.
she's like one of
Yeah.
my favorite, like, it
Mhm.
girls. So, yeah, man.
Yeah. Well,
I get it.
I will say this. I'm going to give the point to Jamie Lee Curtis. To me, this was easy for a lot of reasons. Number one, I think that she's doing more in 2018. So that's not even a knock against Scout because I think Scout did great for what she was given. But you're talking about half of a movie that she's in, and she spends a quarter of that half hanging out with her friends, which is fine. That's what she's supposed to be doing as a character. And then she's being attacked by Michael, and she's kind of freaking out. In 2018, you see this version of Lori that's going through a whole lot of stuff. I think Kill, you said it, which was very important. The love that she showed, especially for her granddaughter, and the fact that what she did to prepare herself, the scene at the restaurant. I mean, to me, there are a lot of actors or actresses that wouldn't have been able to pull off that scene the way Jamie Lee Curtis did. And I'm just, and I love Jamie Lee Curtis, but it's not like I'm saying that just because of her. But I'm
Mhm.
just saying, it's no different than Brad Dourif in Halloween 2. There are a lot of actors that couldn't do what he did in that scene when he finds Annie, and that's just, to me, in my opinion, that's how it goes. So, anyways, so I'm going with 2018 on this one because I think that Jamie Lee Curtis is doing more.
Mhm.
She's just doing more as Lori. So, all right, okay. Danielle saying Rob Zombie Halloween should have gone up against the OG to make more sense. Well, the reason that we're having it go against 2018 is because it's a better matchup. It's a better matchup, and you'll see because right now we're pretty close. We're pretty darn close. Okay, all right. So let's go to our next category. This is getting crazy. We're running against the clock here, guys. So
Yeah.
let's do this thing. All right. Next up, Eric, we've got Joe Grizzly or Ray Nelson.
Easy. Joe Grizzly, because I don't even remember who Ray Nelson is.
Oh no.
The end. There's your short and sweet since we're running against the clock.
Okay. All right. Ray Nelson is Allison's father. And the
Oh,
reason that
Oh,
these
okay.
guys
the peanut
reason
butter
these
guy.
guys-
Thinking the
Okay.
same thing, Eric, though.
and the reason
Oh
that
my
these
God.
guys are put up against each other because I think both of them had comedic, elements to
They
their
did.
characters.
Yes.
And it
I
was
grew
brief.
up with that actor who
Both of
played
them
Ray
were brief.
Nelson, but
Yeah.
come on. If I couldn't remember who it was, there's no comparison.
All right. Okay, Kill. What do we
Oh
got?
shit.
Well, Ray is in his movie longer than Joe Grizzly, but I gotta go with my man Joe Grizzly because even though he's not in there as long, he brings presence, he brings bravado. It's Ken Foray, and he talks shit to Michael. Like,
Yeah, he ain't afraid.
Joe Grizzly ain't afraid of nobody. So
Nope.
yeah, I'm going with Rob Zombie on this one.
Okay. All right. Coriander, how about you?
I mean, Eric said it best. I was even thinking, who the hell is Ray Nelson? So, and yeah,
go.
I mean, Joe Grizzly, that was, probably one of the best characters in that movie. So it's too bad he wasn't in it longer. But yeah.
No, that's what I kept saying. I was
Plus,
like,
his name is
Yeah.
Joe Grizzly, not Ray Nelson. Bitch, I'm Joe Grizzly.
Right?
Wash
Let me
my truck.
introduce myself.
Yeah, Joe
Yeah.
is making Ray wash his truck.
Right. Oh my god. All right. So for me, this was pretty simple, man. We got to go with Joe Grizzly. There's no doubt that Ken Foray was just amazing in that role. Definitely gone too soon, so I'm going with the Grizz.
You
on
need
this.
to make a Joe Grizzly t-shirt, right? With him on the shitter and that quote on the back.
There you go. All right, guys. We'll go to our next category. Everyone in the chat is going Joe Grizzly. This was easy, wasn't it?
Yep.
Hey, look, Val says, I got to give it to Joe Grizzly, just a more memorable character. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Pete's in the chat. Welcome, Pete, saying, I got a Taco Deluxe Supreme talking back at me. I'm going to be a while. I love it. And by the way, if you have not hit the like button, please hit the like button. It helps to support us. We'd appreciate it. Next up, the better mother, Deborah Myers or Laurie Strode? Eric, what are you thinking? Now, Deborah Myers, let me just, for everyone in the chat, if you don't know, that's Sherry Moon Zombie in the 07 film. And obviously, we're talking about Laurie Strode in 2018, played by Jamie Lee Curtis.
Both are great moms, regardless. Shh.
Mm.
Both are very protective of their kids. They want the best for them. But I'm going to duck because Coriander's going to throw something at me, and I'm going to pick Deborah because here's why. Because she's doing a garbage job. No offense to anyone who does it. A very bad job to support her family. It's not the best paying job. You're looked down upon as a stripper, but you know what? The fact that she's doing it to support her family, and then she's going home to not the best life, but she still wants the best for her kids. I'm going with that. And then just the way she pulls for him while he's in the sanitarium. No.
Yeah. All right. Okay, Kill. How about you, man?
Even though Laurie was teaching her daughter how to use weapons and how to survive and to be prepared for this, I'm gonna go with Deborah because in all that preparing of her daughter, she also alienated her daughter, made her daughter not like her. And I agree with Eric. Deborah's working a job that's not the best, coming home to a boyfriend that's an asshole, and just trying to put food on the table. And just how she knows her son killed someone, and she's still talking to him in a very tender, motherly way in the insane asylum. Like, wow. So yeah, I got to go with Rob Zombie on this one.
All right, Coriander, how about you?
Wow, man. Wow. I'm gonna go. Obviously, I'm gonna go Laurie, even though, she did lose her kid. And her daughter didn't really care for her. I mean, she went through a lot. And I don't know how young, from when this happened that she had her kid. So
Mm-hmm.
obviously she was, and you can see from this movie, she struggled with this traumatic event. So the fact that, uh, you know, the fact that she had a bunch of guns, I mean, come on, I was around a bunch of guns when I was a kid. My father was a hunter. That shouldn't be a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
but I mean, come on, I'm sorry, but we've got the OG, you know? And everyone fucks up. No one is a perfect mother.
Mm-hmm.
And some mess up harder than others. But yeah,
Okay.
I'm still gonna go with Lori.
All right. The chat is going crazy on this one. Wow. They're going all the way with this. Very, very cool. Jamie saying I would give it to Deborah, but she gave up in the end. I have to go with Lori because she didn't. Wow. That's a very interesting perspective, Jamie. Wow.
That is
I really
true.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah,
That's
that's
really, really wow. Mhm.
good point. Mhm.
But your
Yeah.
son became the shape.
You
Lori's
kind of
daughter,
stopped it.
yeah, Lori's daughter did not become the shape.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm just saying. I mean, there's levels. You got
Yeah.
all right. I gotta.
Coriander, I'm sorry, I didn't write that point down. You're going with who?
Lori.
Laurie. Okay, I just want to make sure I got that right. Okay. So for me, this is actually really tough because I think both of them show a lot of great aspects as far as being a mother, but they're different, right? Laurie Strode definitely just obsessed and possessed by this situation that she went through, and she projected that onto her daughter. It got to the point where she loses her daughter, but it was all needed in the end. But we're talking about 40 years. Whereas with Deborah, you said it really well, Eric. She's trying to just keep her family together. She truly loves her kids. And she was just, I mean, imagine if you went through that. That's
Mhm.
some rough stuff to go through, man. It really,
Mhm.
really is. I'm going to give it to Deborah on this one. And here's why. Because I think that when I watch both of these movies, and I've watched both these movies a lot, the scene where she spends time with Michael in the asylum, it was just one of those things where it just kind of touched me, man. It kind of on an emotional level. I felt
Mhm.
really the pain that she was going through and the trauma. I mean, I felt that with Laurie too, but obviously Laurie Strode, she has more light in the tunnel, so to speak, with her character arc. And that's not a knock against her. It's just it is what it is. And again, like
Mhm.
we were talking about in our last category for Laurie versus Laurie, we're basing this only on these two movies. At least that's how I'm giving my points. I'm
Mhm.
only talking about these two movies. I'm not talking about the rest of the movies. And sometimes that can be a difficult thing. But anyways, I'm going to go with Deborah on this one. All right. Wow. This is crazy. Danielle saying Deborah
Wow.
wins Mommy of the Year. There you go. All right. Next up, Eric. Better mask reintroduction scene. Now, we played this in the beginning of the intro. We know in 07, he gets the mask from the floorboards. In 2018, he gets the mask after he kills Dana and Aaron and opens up the trunk. Which scene is the better reintroduction scene of the mask?
Just so to make Coriander happy. No, I'm kidding.
Oh,
I'm being
my
serious when I
God.
say this though. I'm giving it to 2018 because as much as I love the mask of Rob Zombie's, literally it's just Michael punching through some floorboards and pulling it up.
Mhm.
We get the kills beforehand in 18, and that helps the scene of him becoming the shape again. So
Okay.
this one was pretty easy.
All right. All right. Barb saying great categories, by the way, Knight. Well, thank you so much. We're definitely having some fun with this. Ronan's going with 2018. D's going with 2018. Ty's going with 2018. Danielle's going with Rob Zombie. All right. She says Rob Zombie, baby. All right.
Mhm.
Kill. What do you think, bro?
This is easy street. I think you know what I'm gonna say. Pop the trunk, baby. Pop the trunk. Zoom
All
in
right.
on the mitts and just pull it down low.
Put it low. All right. All right, brother. How about you, Coriander?
Obviously, I'm gonna go 2018.
Like she said,
Pop the trunk again.
yeah. All right, man. Let's see. Pete saying both were great masks. Just wish 2018 had the scene done at night. They like killed it, in my opinion. Ooh, okay.
Ooh,
all right.
I think it added to it.
Chris saying 2018, 100%. All right. Well, for me, both scenes are great, and that's why I put that in the intro, because I think they're both really, really good scenes, and they both show that Michael is obsessed with this fucking mask. Both actors did a good job of kind of gazing at it, kind of like it's a holy grail. But as I mentioned earlier, to me, and it's funny because this was just said in the chat, I think the way that it was shot in 2018, you could see it better. You could kind of get into it a little bit more. And I'm not even counting the kill leading up to it, which was great as far as a reintroduction. I'm just talking about that particular moment where he gets the mask. I just like the fact that you could see it. Even the choices where the camera angle was through the back of the window of the car when he puts the trunk down. It's not like right on him. It's through the back window of the car. And it just looks amazing. So I got to go with 2018 on that one. All right. Our good buddy Frank from The Harsh Truth is in the house. What's up, Frank? Good to see you, bro. Hope you are doing well, man. Everybody, make sure you subscribe to The Harsh Truth. He's absolutely awesome. All right, guys. We are almost at the finish line. Next up, Dr. Loomis or Dr. Sartain, Eric.
Oh, come on. Again, Easy Street, Loomis.
Yeah.
I mean, is it really?
He's disappointed in me. Come on, what kind of category?
Yeah,
is that,
he is.
Well, at least I know who Sartain is, other than the other guy. I already forgot his name. Here's why: because Loomis actually cares about Michael. He wants to heal him, knows he fails, leaves Michael, and then wants to end him. Sartain, I love how he's kind of like this Dr. Frankenstein character, setting him off into the wild to see what he'll do. But it's a missed opportunity because they get rid of him too quick. It goes nowhere. He's so close to seeing what he could do with Michael, and then he's gone.
Yeah, say something. Like
Killian likes to say, missed opportunity a lot.
Yes. All right, Kill. How about you, brother?
This is Easy Street. Loomis all the way. We get to see him as a younger Loomis with a young Michael, and he continues through. Didn't like him in the second movie, but we're not talking about that one. We're talking about this one. So yeah, Rob Zombie for the win on this one.
All right, Coriander. How about you?
I mean, you still have to enjoy, Sartain here, because I mean, yeah, that's what I'm calling him.
Yeah,
sanitation.
Because I mean, did you see his pen? Come on, his pen reminded me like of the Predator. It looked like a skull and the spine, and that right there, it just his intentions were wrong from the very beginning with Michael, and obviously, Loomis all the way, man.
All right, okay.
Loomis all the way, but Sartain had a really cool looking pen.
That's right.
Sartain did.
Barb saying Sartain for a good villain, I'd say. Loomis for the greater good. Sartain is what Loomis could have become.
Yes.
Okay. When we're talking about whether or not you're going to be infected by the evil, and we started to see Donald Pleasance go down a road a little bit in Halloween 4 and 5 and 6. We did see that, but he never went all the way over to the edge like Sartain did. So I think Sartain was an interesting character to show that other side of things. That was cool. But come on, guys, you guys all know one of my favorite characters in movies of all time is Dr. Loomis. So I can't vote against Loomis. And it doesn't even matter that it's Michael McDowell. So I got to go with Loomis on this one as well, man. All right. Very, very cool. These guys in the chat, they're going with Loomis too. Okay, Eric, you knew it was going to come down to this at some point. Here's the question. Who was the better Michael Myers? Now, let me just say this before you answer. You guys in the chat, I usually don't do this, but this is close. I'm looking at these points. This is close, and we have got 3 more categories. So I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying. So be prepared. Okay, Eric, what do we got?
It's my number 1 Michael versus my number 2 Michael. So, I'm going, Tyler Mane is my number 1 Michael, Rob Zombie. And a lot of people like the mysteriousness of the shape, and no disrespect to James Jude Courtney. He is very brutal. He is very scary, but I'm more scared of Tyler's. Not just because of the size. We know Michael will kill anybody. It doesn't matter. But what makes him more brutal to me is the Danny Trejo scene. You know what I mean? This is a man that looked out for him, and he wasn't nothing but a number. You know what I mean? When he smashed him with the TV and drowned him, it doesn't matter. And he is more, in my opinion, he's more vicious because of physicality, and just the way he slams Joe Grizzly against the bathroom stall is proof right there. You know what I mean? So I'm going with Tyler Mane.
All right. Barb says, I already paid up. Someone needs to pony up for some Rob Zombie votes.
Rob's doing okay.
She's calling to arms. She's calling up to arms. If you guys want Rob Zombie to win this thing, there you go. Thank you, Barb. I appreciate that. All right. Kill. Who are we going with, Betty?
I like both of these, but I'm going to go with James on this one. And the reason for that is Tyler is huge. Tyler's a little too big, in my opinion. But I love the violence in his kills. James also puts the violence in there. Like I said earlier, he talks shit. He'll drop teeth in front of you just to let you know what he's about to do to you.
Killing kids.
He'll have little kids be hype men, like, just saying, "Hey, don't go up there. You're gonna die."
That's right.
And
you're gonna die, Dave.
You're gonna die, Dave. And I just feel, if I'm talking about Michael, that classic Michael, James is a better shape. The way he glides house to house, stabby, glide, walk past some kids. I'm not going to kill you. I got, I got morals here. And he's just cold-blooded, but yet he still brings the violence. And he's not the size of a wrestler. I mean, James is a big guy, but he's a big normal size guy. He's not hitting the gym wearing the mask, getting gains. Just imagine that, folks. So yeah, I got to go 2018.
All right, how about you, Coriander?
Yeah, I am so totally with 2018, just because, I mean, the work that James put in to getting into this character, plus portraying him, to me, he is like my Michael. And I told him that I just loved how he and I loved, like I said, how he told us how he got himself, like what he did to prepare himself for this role. And it just shows you, I just think he put more into it. Like Killian said, looks like he was gliding. He brought, he just brought so much more to Michael. So yeah, I got to go with James Jude.
Okay, all right. For me, and I will say that this is really an interesting one because they also have different takes, right? And obviously Tyler was super intense, but he also portrayed Michael, in 2 different spots, before he broke out, and not even having he wasn't turned on yet. He was still dormant, making his mask in his room and stuff like that. I mean, we saw James at Smith's Grove, but it was, that opening scene. I think that for me, I got to go with James Jude because of the fact, and Kill, you kind of said it too, because I think that the way he portrayed Michael it was just so spot on. It was that calm within the storm, which is, of course, the video I talked about. And if you guys haven't seen our interview with James Jude Courtney, you should check it out, because the prep that he had, I mean, he was Michael Myers when he did these movies. He was so invested in the character and just the essence of evil and all these types of things. So it's one of those situations where I got to go with him, because when he does his killing, when he does everything he does, there's just an absence of humanity. And I see that. Now, Rob Zombie chose to bring humanity, or at least some semblance of the human side, into his Michael Myers. But to me, that made him less scary, if that makes any sense. Yeah, he was grunting and he was angry and this and that. But look, he should kill everyone. Look at him. He's 6'8", 6'9". Whereas with James Hugh Courtney, this is a guy that you have no clue what he's gonna do, and when he does it, it's like, oh my god, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I gotta go with
Killing, he killed the
James on
kid.
this. He did.
That's like
Mhm.
one of the first one of his first victims, right?
Yeah.
In that
Yeah.
movie,
Mhm.
besides
Yeah,
those
that
two
was crazy.
journalists, was then a
Yeah.
kid.
Yep.
So it's like,
absolutely.
come on. And not only that, Christ, you would smell skunk ape Michael coming. His dirty ass
Well,
feet, his
okay,
hobo ass hair. I'm just saying, you'd smell him coming a mile away. So you could be prepared and either run or
probably.
grab your gun.
All right, real quick, because we are literally out of time. But real quick, Polar's in the chat. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Too funny. Barb saying no emotion in the shape. Yeah, true enough. True enough. All right, next category, Eric. Let's jump to this, man. The finale. Which finale
Oh,
was
it's
better?
easy.
Maybe it's easy for
Eric.
you. I don't. I'm gonna go 2018, but it's slight because I'm not a big fan of either one of the finales. I don't like the trap. I've said it before 100 times. I don't like the trap doors. I don't like the spikes. I don't like any of that stuff in 2018. But the thing is, the one for Rob Zombies just goes on way too long. Okay, you know, he's chasing Laurie all over the house, in the roof with the wood going through that. You could have cut so much of that out. I did like how she knocked him over the balcony and then shot him in the face, but I liked more in 2018 because it definitely left it open for that sequel, but it just wasn't as long. You know, we got to the end like 20 minutes earlier before Rob Zombie's versions ended.
Right. All right. Kill. How about you, man?
I'm gonna have to go 2018. I love the trap house, and I love the bait and switch where, as the viewer, when we're watching it, we're looking like, oh man, they're underneath the kitchen island and they're trying to be quiet and like, oh, and then comes to find out, no, we want you to come down here. That's part of the trap. And just seeing how they all played their part and kind of like, gotcha. And the final thing that you see as far as Michael, he's just standing there burning up, doesn't make a move. You know, he's so harmless, he wouldn't hurt a fly. He's just sitting there, you know, just like, I'm just going to sit here and look up at you and just burn to a crisp. I loved it. And I agree with Eric, the finale to Rob Zombies, it dragged on way too long.
Yeah.
Too long. So 28.
All right. Coriander, how about you?
I mean, it dragged on way too long. You couldn't see half of it. Shaky cam made me want to puke because I get nauseous with that type of shit. So all I have to say is the finale for 2018 was incredible. I loved it. She was setting up a trap because she knew he was coming. She knew it. Yeah, man, she fucking got him. So I loved it.
All right. Okay, so for me, you guys have said a lot of great points. I think with the finale and Eric, you said a great point with Rob Zombies. I do think it went on too long. It was like two false endings, and it just felt kind of tacked on. That scene where he's chasing her in the house and she was hiding in the ceiling area, and he was bashing up the ceiling with the 2x4. That kind of went on too long, man.
Yeah.
I think that could have been cut at least in half, if not at all together.
Yeah.
Once like the pool scene, that should have been it.
Yeah.
You know, maybe pull her out, like if you want to copy Jason out through the window.
Right.
Come on.
Right. Yeah, I think the pacing of that finale was a little bit off, but more importantly, I think Coriander hit it again. Just the decisions on the lighting. You couldn't see everything, you know, and I know it's at night, but we obviously saw in 2018 that's at night as well. I just think that you have to be able to see what's going on, or else you kind of, you know, searching with your eyes. So I got to go with 2018. because of the fact the way it was presented. But I also think that it was such a great finale with a lot of tension, and you didn't know where it was going to go, you know. And it's no disrespect to Scout in 07, but you know, she's obviously traumatized and she played that well. So it's almost just like, okay, let's just get to the end. That's kind of the vibe I had, you know what I'm saying? So
I'm
I
tired
gotta
by
go.
the time it's over.
Yes,
Yeah, man.
agreed. Totally agreed.
Takes you
All
out of
right.
it.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. All right, guys. So we are about to tally up these votes. If anyone else wants to send any super chat, this is the time. You remember last week when we had super chats coming in after we had tallied up the points. So this is the time. Real quick, while I tally these up, let's have you guys just giving final thoughts, starting with you, Eric, and then going on down the list.
Final thoughts. This was a lot of fun because again, I love these battles because it requires me to look for praise in a movie I don't like, or make a movie that I do like not win the category. I've never been shy about the fact that, you know, I don't like 2018 for many reasons. We don't have enough time to discuss it, but I don't hate the film. I just don't like it. And I've always defended Rob Zombie's version of Halloween numerous times. But it shows that with these categories, there's been times when, you know, 2018 totally trumped it for Rob. And that's what over Rob. And that's what I like doing these, because you have to look at it with a different perspective, no matter how your personal feelings of the finished product is.
You know, I totally agree. I love the first Rob Zombie movie. And, you know, if you guys have seen me on this channel, you know, not really a big fan of the second one. Shouts out to the White Horse. But as far as this one, you know, where he doesn't look like a hobo wearing a hoodie, he's not talking, you know, there's no white horse. I'm down with it. And I love Rob Zombie and I love his vision. But what they were able to do with 2018 to come back to this franchise, to retcon a lot of stuff and just say, hey, forget about, you know, Cult of Thorn, forget about, you know, Jamie Lee Curtis in the hospital, forget all of that. We're starting with this. I absolutely adore 2018, from the way it opens with the pumpkin and the original score that's slightly remixed, to everything that they do to bring the old school fans in and the new stuff. The 3 generations of the Strode women here, each going through their own, you know, character arcs, and the development that they do in this movie alone, and how it proceeds to the other movies. I thought it was just masterful. So yeah.
Okay. All right. How about you, Coriander?
I mean, I almost feel like I just answered this question like a question ago. So
that's okay if you don't have anything else. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to 2018. So
okay. All right. Danielle says forged super chat. I love it.
Oh shit. You Italian shit. I completely forgot that that's what you were doing, man. What? But yeah, this is fun.
All right,
God.
Anyway,
it's been one of those days.
Yeah,
it's been a long night. We'll leave it at that.
Oh, shit.
All right, guys. So we have the points tallied up, and this was actually pretty interesting. Now, let me just say real quick, because we'll have two points here. We had 37 points given in super chats for 2018. Wow. And we had 20 given for Rob Zombie's Halloween. Because of that, the winner is 2018.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But the referee can be bought again.
But let me just say this. Let me finish though. Let me finish. It was a score of 72 points to 49. But now the question is, without those points, what happens then? And this was actually very close with a score of 29 to 35. 2018 won. So
yeah,
2018 won. So there it is, 2018, the full victory from the civilian vote and also from the panel vote. Again, but that's still pretty close, 29 to 35. That was
I'm not gonna
actually
lie,
a
I
lot
thought I didn't
closer.
think it was gonna be that close, considering how a lot of people feel for Rob's movies, overall. You know what I mean?
I feel it's fitting that Michael got his first win here with 2018.
That's right.
That's
You're
magic.
right, man.
I feel it fitting that
Right.
Michael had to beat up himself to get his first victory here.
There you go. There you go. That's the event. It's advantage of all
But
these
it's so
timelines.
worth it, man.
No, this was
Yeah.
fun. And that's what I say, just so in case anyone's like jumping into this like for the first time, we're just
Mhm.
busting balls here. Me and
Yeah.
Coriander love each other.
Oh, yeah.
We're not picking
That's
on each
right.
other. I do
No,
it
no,
to
no.
Killian and Knight. It's all in good
Mhm.
fun.
It is,
Yeah,
man. And at the end of the day, both of these movies, as we have with every matchup, both movies will have some merit.
Mhm.
And a lot of times it's a question of, wow, we love both of these movies. It's crazy. So, anyways,
Yeah.
for you guys in the chat, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We really appreciate it. Danielle said 2018 was lucky. I was so late. Rick saying excellent live stream. Well, thank you guys so much. We appreciate it. Leave a comment. Let us know what you thought of the live stream. Let us know what you think of some of our categories. Definitely share this out. I know a lot of you guys do have social media or channels of your own. That would be really, really cool. Because again, this is why we're doing it and putting the time in to do it, is because it seems as though people are enjoying the hell out of this. And I knew it.
Look who
Real
shows
quick,
up.
Sir James jumping in with a $5 super chat, saying, "Thank God that Rob Zombie didn't win. I saw the rough draft that Philip was so bad. We went to the bar." Gosh. All right,
Wow.
man. Thank you so much for the super chat. And 2018 did
5 more
win,
points.
hands down.
Yeah.
Val keeping check of the 71.
wow.
Wow.
Nice.
That might be a record, guys. Thank you guys
That's
so much.
awesome.
Thank you guys so much. We hope that you guys will join us next week. It's going to be even more fun. And Tuesday nights is Battle World night. So anyways, Jamie's saying these versus nights are super fun. They really are. We're enjoying a lot of them. And thank you guys for being here. Seriously. Barb saying love the different perspectives. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, guys, thank you so much again. We love you guys. Have a good night. We'll catch you guys next time. And as always, if you're watching this, if you're listening to this, you are the Nightwatch. And don't forget, who's got the Cracker Jacks? Peace out.
Cheers.
Cheers.